friendly. Just drag and drop everything into place. It's your website, your style. Show the world what you can do. Go to Wix.com and create your own stunning website today. It's easy and free.
These days, searching for roadworthy used trucks is like being on safari. You definitely know what you're looking for, but finding it, that's the real challenge. And just when your price is within reach, bam! The truck of your dreams disappears. The fact is, dependable used trucks are becoming scarce, which is why owner-operators and fleet buyers depend on Aero Truck Sales, because nobody can match Aero's national buying power and inventory of leading brands, including Freightliner, Kenworth, Volvo, International, Peterbilt, Mack, and others. Raised roof and flat top sleeper trucks, big cans, even reefer trailers and dump trucks. You'll find them all at Aero. And with 18 locations nationwide and on-site financing available, nobody makes it easier to purchase your next used truck. Call Aero Truck Sales today at 800-250-2776 or visit aerotruck.com/XM for current specials. Aero Truck Sales, North America's leading used truck source.
I've got my own veterinary practice, but getting started wasn't easy, especially when it came to finding new customers. Then I heard about leadsbyweb.com.
Leadsbyweb.com gets you listed in the places customers are searching online and gets them to call you. Just tell us how many leads you want. Call 855-882-0932 now, and we'll start with a free evaluation by one of our local business consultants.
Thanks to leadsbyweb.com, business is really working. I mean, booming.
Call 855-882-0932.
State alerts and weather reports every hour around the clock.
I'm Kristen Klein from the Weather Channel with an interstate weather
Nowhere
update.
else except Road Dog Trucking Radio. Trucking News with Mark Willis.
Saturday, I got Jack Roberts with me. He is the equipment editor, the technology guy, CCJ Digital. Are you on Twitter as well?
Oh yeah, man. Check me out at Jack Roberts CCJ, and would love to have you guys follow me and try to keep it fun and light on Twitter. I really enjoy interacting with readers and drivers out there.
Absolutely, yeah, they are a blast. I'll tell you the best out there, best listeners, and guys, we appreciate you. We really do. The phone number is 888-876-2336, and yeah, we started talking about some of the changes on the landscape with Mercedes-Benz, and you know, the race to put together those sprinter vans out there, big dollar. The regional van market, Apple and Google are trying to get into this as well. The automotive industry's concept of developing, marketing, and selling cars solidified in the 1950s, and it really hasn't changed much this day. And Jack, I would have to imagine that a lot of folks in the trucking industry are saying, man, the greener the vehicle, the better. Are you hearing from readers about that? It's obviously going to save money in the long run. How does the trucking industry stand overall when it comes to the greening of these vehicles out there? Anything better?
Well, you know, the first thing you have to remember about a green truck fleet is the truck fleet itself may not particularly want to go green, but if one of your big customers or a couple of other QBs living in Oregon and they've got some sort of warehousing business and it's important to them that you be green, well, guess what? It's important that you be green, because if you don't want their money, that's another kind of green, isn't it? If you don't want to be green, to green, then somebody else will. So that's really been the pull through on a lot of this quote unquote green trucking initiative. But you know what? Trucking has really, and I've talked a little bit over the years about how trucking never catches a break from the government or the public, but we're talking about an industry that has come light years since the late 80s, early 90s in terms of cleaning up emissions and having much quieter vehicles, much safer vehicles. Vehicles that don't leave as big a carbon footprint as they used to. Now, are we ever going to get credit for this? Absolutely not. Are we still working through problems with all this technology? We most certainly are. But I'm very much convinced that this is just the wave of the future, and it really doesn't matter what the government says, and it really doesn't matter what the truck fleets want. The more customers who demand green, then, you know, that's kind of the way capitalism works. If your customer wants it, and you want to keep them as your customer, guess what? You got to find a way to do it.
Now, the other side of the coin, what about the low-tech trucks out there, you know, the basic models? Is there still a market for this, or do you think that at some point everybody's got to get on board the high technology, they've got to get on board the greener trucks out there? The low-tech market for trucks trucks out there? Is that still thriving? And I think you wrote about that in your article.
Yeah, I did. This is a separate story. Also on CCJ Digital, you guys, your readers can, or your listeners, I mean, it's so used to saying readers, I apologize. But yeah, this is another concept that may be a backlash based on the very things we're just talking about, green trucks, emissions. As all your readers know, a lot of this emissions and green technology comes at a penalty. Sometimes that can be maintenance demands. Sometimes it can be performance degrading on the vehicle somewhat. There was even an initial fuel economy hit when the first EGR systems appeared back in the early aughts. I guess we're going to call it the early 2000s. So there is a line of thought that the free market, capitalism, will react to higher acquisition costs, more frustrating maintenance, by delivering clean, efficient, essentially disposable trucks. A low-cost truck, maybe the body comes out of Asia, the cab comes out of Europe, the engine comes from, say, Cummins, or perhaps it's, it could be a Toyota diesel, it really doesn't matter. And you throw together a truck, and we're really not talking about long-haul applications here. I think long-haul, it's already tough to get drivers. You really have to spec out a truck for long-haul Class 8 applications. They have to be nice, and my personal prediction is they're going to get even nicer, but that's a different subject. But the thought is for regional fleets, urban fleets, beverage haulers, do you really need to spend all this money on all this technology? Can you get a shortcut around that by speccing out a low-tech, almost disposable truck that you just run it until the wheels fall off like our grandfathers did? Sure. And, there seem to be some indications that this may come to pass. There are certainly a lot of overseas manufacturers who would love to design a truck using components that are already available, widely available on the market today. Build a truck, put a lower price tag on it, make it a little easier to work on, a lot less computer systems, a lot less bells and whistles, and put it to work. So it's going to be interesting to see if this trend develops.
Let's continue with that. I got a break here for a few minutes. Drivers, again, jump in. It's 888-876-2336. Jack Roberts with CCJ Digital on the phone with me right now. He's been traveling quite a bit. It's great to get him back on the radio talking about the latest and greatest when it comes to the technology out there. And what do you guys like out there? I mean, you like those super tricked out trucks? We've got all the bells and whistles out there, all of the technology that you can shake a stick at, to coin a cliche. I mean, from the lane departure warning systems, the GPS technology, the satellite technology that's on board a lot of these trucks. Or are you one of these kind of drivers that simply just like some of the basics? I mean, just a basic truck that's going to get you from point A to point B. I would have to imagine that in a lot of cases, some of the basic trucks aren't going to be out of the shop. They're not going to be in the shop as often as some of the higher technology trucks out there. How do you feel about that? We'll get into that conversation, but first, though, bottom of the hour. That means it is time for news right now here on Sirius XM.
And now the latest from the Road Dog Trucking Radio News Team on Sirius XM.
Drivers, if you normally travel the Tappan Zee Bridge around the New York City area, here's something you need to pay attention to. Drivers already bracing for higher tolls on the new Tappan Zee Bridge might also have to pay new tolls on the New York-Connecticut border. New information coming in today that putting overhead electronic tolls on Interstate 95 is one idea being explored as part of a study to reduce congestion on Connecticut's highways. And the report is expected to be finished up in about a month. Now, 2 New York lawmakers who represent what is called the Sound Shore area said that any plan to put tolls at the border will shortchange residents. And State Senator George Latimer and State Assemblyman Steve Otis said that even if the all-electronic toll system, which reads the Easy Pass tags or takes photos of license plates to send a bill to the drivers, doesn't cause people to slow down, it will cause backups into Westchester and give drivers an incentive to get off the highway and then take local roads.